are on our way to physical therapy. And before we get into that, Kyrie, when she works, has been taking my car recently because it's way cheaper to charge my car than fill up her tank of gas by like a lot. I think it's like 3 times cheaper, give or take. So, we take those. But, she like leaves at 6 p.m. Where the hell am I going after 6 p.m.? And she gets back around 7:30, 8 o'clock maybe. So, I'm not using it during that time, so might as well. And if something happens and I need a car for whatever reason when I'm supposed to be sleeping anyway, like her car is still here, I can take that one. But there's 2 things that drive me nuts about when she's in her car when she's driving. One is she cannot have air going, right? So you get in here and you turn the car on and you think, okay, well, there's going to be nice cool air in here because that's what I like. It's just like the fan is set to 1 just so, I don't know, she doesn't cook, I guess. And it just gets stuffy almost immediately, humid and kind of gross. So I have to fix that. And the second one is she turns the navigation volume to 9. It goes to 10. She turns it to 9, and it just scares the hell out of you. And of course, I get it. If she's at the end of a shift and she's a little tired, and she wants to be spooked or reminded, sure. But having that humidity and kind of being in that disgusting, for lack of a better term, situation with the air, I'm like, well, that's not doing you any favors either. So, but PT's going well, I think. I'm more aggressive than most people when it comes to my progressions.
Now turn right.
And I think that it's threefold. 1, I have a great PT. 2, I have put in the work. And 3, I was very strong before the injury. Sorry about the train tracks. And people don't give credit to all of those things simultaneously. They just assume that, once you have a surgery, you're just going to automatically get better. It's I don't know, undirected optimism, right? It just magically gets better. It's no, there's still work involved, right? You had a giant procedure, and now you have to make it better. I went through this similar thing with my right shoulder in 2008 maybe? It's 15 years ago. Yeah, 15 years ago. More than that now. And I'm, never knew I would have had a shoulder issue, right? So the same thing happens with the leg. Now I can kind of start getting into that spot 6 weeks out that my progression just skyrockets, right? It becomes almost exponential getting back to approaching baseline. God, all the train tracks. So I'm really excited to see the progression from here until, I don't know, what's today, the 13th of November, to Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving to Christmas, and then, is my day-to-day kind of normal? And is, at what point do I start really trying to properly rebuild strength, right? Because at the moment, I'm just trying to not lose strength, maybe start to build a little bit more back up, but there's still that tendon that needs to be strengthened. And you can only do that with load. And you can't do that with blood flow restriction stuff, like we talked about, I don't know, a few videos ago. And which is, it's great to use BFR sometimes, right? But if you do that because all you want to do is have muscular hypertrophy, fine, but you're just going to leave your tendons in the dust, which is not really what I want to do. So I'm excited to start using load again. And, we'll see how that goes. I'm far from it, I think. Like I said, I'm going to reinstate my gym membership when I can start using the stationary bike. And I think I'm getting closer. 2 weeks ago, walking was a struggle. Even a week ago, I hadn't had my brace unlocked, and I was, kind of not wearing my brace all the time at home, which is probably not what I'm supposed to do, but, I feel like I was responsible with it. I still wear it whenever I leave the house. But if I'm walking from, my office to the kitchen, I feel confident in my own strength and ability to do that. But now when I walk, it's like the brace is just making it more awkward than it otherwise was going to be. And for like that much of a change over 2 weeks is pretty cool. Especially with like what I can do with my lower leg now, because it was, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was just, hey, can I keep it straight while I lift my leg? And for a lot of people, that's hard. For me, before the injury, it was a joke. And for me now, it's a joke. But in between, there was some learning that had to happen. I had to figure out how to do it again, which is super annoying, but part of the problem. So I've been happy with PT. I'm dreading some of the work that I have to do later today. And not because it's like particularly difficult, because it's mostly like, it's not even hard. It's just kind of cringy. It's with regards to starting like online coaching stuff, which really I want to do. Kyria sent me an article about, how much the lifestyle stuff actually works, which is a lot. And we already knew all of this, right? And it said something to the effect of, only people who want it, you should give it, and it works really, really well, but don't try to force it on people, but make sure you're doing it. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, great. A lot of us do that anyway. Most of us do that anyway. All of us should do that anyway. But now you're just adding stuff for the primary care doctor to do just to make sure that everybody, despite a history of not caring, kind of gets at least something. Like, I get it, but yeah. But we know it works, but not everybody will do it. Parking garage time.
Given that Kyria doesn't have a ton of time to do much of anything, Bergy's knocking on the door. Let's see if he'll do it again. What's up, dude? You want to knock on the door? Tell people how you told me you want to be let in? There you go. He's a good kid. Since Kyria doesn't have a lot of time between waking up and leaving for work, one of my tasks is making her coffee and making her non-coffee drink, so. At night she'll make a pot of coffee, like hot coffee. She'll bring some of that with her to work, and then some of it goes in one of these containers. And hangs out overnight. She takes her iced coffee with a little bit of whole milk. And I know what you might be thinking. Like, how could you possibly allow her to have whole milk when your platform is largely helping people to understand themselves to lose weight? Well, Marsha's dropping toys everywhere. I think that is actually the point. She's been pretty much the same weight, plus or minus maybe 5 pounds, for the last, 7 years. And she's figured out how to do that while maintaining enjoying some of the things that she enjoys, which is coffee with milk in it. And, a splash or two of this is not gonna break the bank as far as the calories are concerned. 1 cup, 8 ounces is 150 calories. It'll take her 3 or 4 days to get there. I'm not worried about it. And that kind of goes for a lot of things that, some of the dieting extremists don't understand, is that you can find balance in all sorts of stuff. In fact, you should, because a life with over-restriction is not really a life worth living as far as I'm concerned. Her non-coffee drink is this raw organic stuff that my mother bought a long time ago, and she became obsessed with it. But she doesn't like things too sweet. So it's the other half of the bottle, and then water. And for whatever crazy person on the internet that has problems with tap water, our tap water here is very clean. Additionally, when we moved in, we had a whole home water filtration system installed. So it's that much cleaner. And I like to get this ready for her before she wakes up, because it's just, I think it's a nice thing to do. And her alarm is scheduled to go off in 1 minute, so now her drinks are ready. It doesn't take a lot out of my day to do that, to figure that out, you know. Because her, I guess, pre-work routine, I was going to say her morning, but it's 4 o'clock. Her pre-work routine is have some coffee, get something to drink, run some of the dogs, and then she'll, you know, relax for 15, 20 minutes, shower, get ready to go. I'll make dinner, and yeah, and then she's on her way. She'll do like a couple chores here and there if she has the time and if the dogs are behaving. But, you know, oh, I can hear her alarm. But, yeah, you know, whatever makes her life easier, especially when she's on. When she's off, like, she has no work to do, you know. So our roles switch a little bit, but, you know, if I have to be the one that does the dishes and the laundry and, you know, cleans, who cares? You know, fine. I'm not nearly as psycho with cleaning the floor as she is, but I think when we lived in Nashville, she would like vacuum and mop twice a day. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But since our backyard is not a mud pit like it was in Nashville, then we don't have to do that. It's just dog hair. Although I do make a lot of trips around the backyard to pick up poop, because for some reason the big dogs like to do their business on the bricks in the patio and not in the grass. Oh, Kira's here. Gotta go. Kira did just head out, and people don't understand when I tell them that I eat a big giant salad pretty much every night. This used to be full. My head for comparison. And I have a big head. So, in this salad, there's lots of different kinds of lettuces. Usually we just take like a head of, not iceberg, the other one, romaine. It's my blood sugar alarm. And 141, you're yelling at me for 141, okay, fine. And there's corn and peppers and celery and usually something else. Often there'll be like a seed and a dried fruit of some sort, but neither of them this time, because that's not what was made. But a lot of volume. It's a lot of volume. But it's not a ton of calories. Oh, she puts this cheese stuff in it. I don't know what it is. She's gonna yell at me if she watches this and tells me that I forgot what kind of cheese it was, but I don't remember, and that's okay. Problem is, I finished lunch at like 2:45 after PT, chores, dealing with the dogs because they were on one today. And now it's like 6, and I still have to eat the rest of my protein for the day. Starting to get tired. and also have a lot of work left to do today. Maybe I'll go outside if it's nice outside. If it's not nice outside, I won't go outside. But I mean, there's a big giant table over there, and I often try to get work done like on the couch, because once I don't know, I feel like it just kind of morphed into this thing where I don't like to end my day with work in the office. I like to end my day with work on the couch because I can hang out with all the dogs, and it's kind of venturing my way towards the bed. And work on the couch will eventually turn into, purposely turn into, relaxing for a little while before, calling it a day. But if I have something that I can focus on, as far as being productive, or, even if it's not being productive, something I can focus on, then I'm much less likely to raid the pantry, which has been working for the last couple of days. Yesterday, so we have this drawer. Actually, we have this drawer, and it's where Kyrie keeps her chocolate. Now, we have a lot of chocolate in here. That being said, it's been there for weeks, many, many weeks, right? So this is all the chocolate stuff. Let me get out of the way so you can actually see with the lighting that's not ideal in this kitchen. So these are all the chocolates. She really loves these Tony's chocolates things, but there's a bunch of half-eaten and then not even at all eaten bars. And what I would sometimes do, and still sometimes do, is I would eat them. Oh God. She hates when stuff's left open, so it's just a panic thing for me. Sometimes I make her sound terrible. I promise she's not. Yeah. I sound like an ass. But I would, just kind of eat a lot of them. And over the course of the last week or two, I haven't. Which you'd think after been, doing this for 11 plus years, that wouldn't really be that much of an issue. But, like I said a couple days ago, we all struggle with most things. And it's not an issue of when do you not struggle, it's you always struggle, but often, if not always, there is some sort of progression towards where you think you're going to end up. You never actually do. It's just a different version of that same struggle. And I think what has kept me sane over the last decade plus is understanding that it is a balance, and perfection, while it sounds nice in theory, is actually probably terrible. I don't know. There are some people who wildly over-restrict and are on the internet telling you that, yes, you must over-restrict everything and you can't do anything and this, that, and the other thing. No, there are some things that are not inherently good for you, right? Alcohol, not good for you. The people who will say, well, there's flavonoids in red wine, not nearly enough to do any good. But that being said, if you like a really nice glass of red wine every once in a while, it's probably not going to kill you. Just like if you want a few pieces of chocolate every once in a while, it's probably not going to kill you. Just like Kyrie and her milk in her coffee. It's not going to kill her. You don't gain all sorts of weight, and you don't become all sorts of unhealthy from having a small percentage of your diet, in the eyes of one of the zealots, not healthy. It's, you just abuse yourself for many, many years. And whether or not you know the difference, most people don't. And it's sad. I feel like you should have learned that in high school. I also feel like you should have learned how to do your taxes in high school, but yeah, I guess I'm stupid. What do I know? I'm going to finish this last forkfuls of salad. Forkfuls? I don't know, one of those. And do some more work, make my protein for the evening, and I'll probably call it there. I kind of like the everyday vlog thing. It started to give me that impending sense of doom again, which I talked about a couple days ago, and how I missed that from med school and residency. That forced me to stay on track with stuff. So in doing this, I have become much more productive, I think. I hope. But I think. Sorry for the background noise. Bergy is working a bone over there. Hang on. What are you doing, big guy? Are you eating the thing? Marcia found one too, and Bruin cannot be bothered. And Millie's somewhere. Probably barking at something that she shouldn't be barking at. What? All right, we'll go outside. Let's go hang out outside, okay? Okay. Bruin, you coming? Dude. No, I guess not.